Before I begin, I hope you're all comfortable and you have your cameras on. Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, so if you don't have your cameras on, you've just joined us, please make sure you turn your camera on so that I can see that you are visible within the screen, right? Okay, so, yep, thank you very much, Shafina. Right, thank you very much, Clarissa. Okay, so we're going to get started with set 13. And for those of you who were a little late, right, I was just telling the others that there's been a mistake in yesterday's paper, set 12, right? Question number 8. The answer should actually be 1. Should not be 1, should be 3, okay? Because it should be more clearly, since it is Kelly speaking and not Kelly's doing, right? If it's something we see Kelly do, it's clearer and clearest. But if something that we hear Kelly say, then it's clearly, more clearly, and most clearly. All right? Thank you very much. Okay, I'm not going to repeat that again. Let's get into set 13, right? And without further ado, let me just call out a few names to do the questions, okay? Ariel, can you do number 1? Nicholas, can you do number 2? Claire, can you do number 3? And Shenyi, can you do number 4? Okay? Right. Let's start with Ariel. Please give me your clue followed by your answer. Okay? Your clue followed by your answer. So Ariel, Nicholas, Claire, and Shenyi, please get ready. 1, 2, 3, and 4 respectively. Ariel, when you're ready, please unmute yourself and tell us your answer for question number 1, please. And then I will go into my spiel.
I put number 1.
Can you tell me your clue before you tell me your answer, please?
Ugly and
Ugly pair of shoes?
yeah.
Is that your clue? Oh, actually no, because you see here, it's I wish, okay, and it's bought, okay? So Ariel, you must spot the clues carefully, This actually is a phrase, is a verb phrase, okay? In this case, right, there are two verbs that have combined together to form a phrase. And in this case, this verb phrase looks like it's going to be in the past perfect. Okay, it's in the past perfect because I wish, right? I wish means that something is already over. Therefore, it's in the past, right? It happened in the past, but I wish it didn't happen. Okay, so I wish my sister, and Ariel's answer was number 1, right? Ariel, you put number 1 as the answer, correct? Okay, and the answer is actually incorrect, okay? So it's not didn't, right? Because if you hear, I wish my sister didn't bought, does that sound correct to you, everybody? Right? You know that didn't cannot take on the perfect form, right? So there are only certain verbs that can take on the perfect form. And I tell you there's only has, have, and had. Only has, have, and had can take on the perfect form. No other auxiliary verb can take on the perfect form. And if you see that this is the perfect form, right, then you know that over here, right, you cannot have didn't already. That is the only answer actually that is immediately eliminated because all the others can, but didn't cannot. Ariel, do you understand? Only has, have, and had can take on the perfect form. Everybody else, please note this down as an important rule, okay? In the English language, the auxiliary verb that can pair with the perfect form is only has, have, and had. Okay, there may be other exceptions that don't come to mind right now, but this is the main one, all right? So I wish my sister, right? And again, because it's in the past, right? I have to eliminate haven't because haven't is in the present, hasn't is in the present. So the answer is actually number 2. Okay, because it is the only past form of the verb that is over there. And therefore, the only possible answer. Okay, so this is a good first question to warm us up for this morning. It's not easy, right? Okay, so Ariel, thank you for your attempt, okay? But please remember this very important rule, okay? What I'm just highlighting over here. Only has, have, had, in this case, partner with the perfect form. So you should be able to eliminate all other forms of auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs are simply the verbs that come before the main verb. Okay? This is an auxiliary verb. Okay? This is an auxiliary verb. Right? Any verb that comes before the main verb, right? And usually the auxiliary verb carries the tense. Remember yesterday we talked about how in verb phrases, those of you who stayed behind, the first verb of a verb phrase always carries its tense. So the auxiliary verb in this case carries the tense of the verb. And in this case, has and have are present and had is past. Okay? So again, only has, have, had can take on the perfect form of the verb. Okay, question number 2. Can we have Nicholas carry on?
The clue is common.
Okay, common. All right, and therefore? And what's the
Something.
answer?
1.
1. All right, very good. In common, right? So again, this is a core-located phrase. Something in common, right, is a common phrase that we use to explain when two things share the same attributes, right? So in common is a core-located phrase. Thank you for that. That's pretty straightforward. Okay, Claire, can you do number 3, please, and tell us the clue?
Not is the clue.
Okay, very good. So I have a negative starting out the sentence. And what is your answer?
Realizing.
Very good. Again, this buys into the clue that the progressive, right, or the continuous tense, or the ing, starts sentences, right? Whether in the positive or the negative, they can start sentences. Realizing that someone has stolen his wallet, not realizing that someone has stolen his wallet. It's one of the few verb forms that can actually start a sentence. Okay, so and of course not an imperative lah. Okay, we don't count imperatives. So realizing, not realizing that someone has stolen, right, is correct because all the others are not the ing form. So it's the only possible form. This is the best fit principle. Okay, very good. And number 4, Shirley. Yeah, Shirley, can you give us number 4, please? Clue and answer.
The clue is ever since and
Ever since.
heard it 3 months ago.
Okay, heard it 3 months ago. So this happens in the past, right? Very good. Okay, so what's the answer?
3.
Number 3, okay, has been bad ever since. So up until now, right? So from then until now, then till now. Okay, and therefore it is the present continuous, or rather the present perfect form, right? Then until now, has been, ever since, right? So it is still now hurting, all right? So it can't be had been, because had been, remember, past perfect has to do with 2 events happening. This is the first of the 2 events happening. So that's not what's happening here, right? So the only possible permutation is number 3. Thank you very much. So we are going at a very fast clip, huh? Okay, Brian, can you try number 5, please, for us? Tell us the clue and then the answer.
The clue is before she left the class.
Okay, before, right? Very good. So this word before, all right, tells me that it's going to be a long chain, right? Okay, before she left the class. Okay, so again, before she left the class, actually left is also the clue, right, Brian? Okay, because this is a 2-1 pattern. Can you all see the 2-1 pattern here? So there's left is 1 verb, okay? And then therefore the answer must be a 2-verb form. Brian, what's the answer?
Number 2.
Okay, had completed, excellent. Okay, so it's not had been completing because this is a 3-verb format, right? So if you put down was completing, this is also not the case because remember continuous form is interrupted, right? So the word before tells you that there's no interruption. It's a sequential action happening one after the other. So it can't be number 3. And then it's either number 1 or number 2. But since it happened in the past, right, it cannot be has completed because she is not still currently engaged in it, right? She didn't just immediately do it. It happened quite some time ago. So the answer is number 2. All right. So correct. Had completed her work before she left the class. Excellent. Okay. So no problems there. Okay. Zoe, can you try number 6, please? And tell us the clue and the answer.
Either.
Either. Very good. Okay. So either of the shirts, one or the other, right? So which one should it be?
2.
Number 2. Okay, excellent. Right. So I push you one step further. What is the rule that you applied here, Zoe, in order to get number 2?
Like 2 objects.
Yeah. So what clue? What is the rule that you apply when you have a subject of individual form and then you have a verb form that comes after it. What is the rule that you apply?
Subject-verb agreement.
Yep, thank you very much. So in this case, right, do not be misled by the shirts, because the shirts appears to be a plural form of the verb. But the word either is what controls the subject, not the shirts. So if you all made mistake, you probably would have put look, okay? Because you think that shirts, right? Many shirts, no S after the verb, right? But in this case, it's either of the shirts. So either is one or the other. You're choosing between two, right? So one or the other. It's one by one. Therefore, the answer should be singular. Either of the shirts looks good. Why? Because it's one shirt or the other shirt. I'm looking at them one at a time. So be very careful. They will tend to want to trick you by putting what we call decoy subjects. Okay? Decoy subjects. So in this case, right, either is the real subject and shirts is the decoy subject. Okay? So the decoy subject is shirts, and they want you to think that shirts is what you should agree with in terms of the verb. So be very careful that you do not fall for the decoy. Look at the entire sentence and spot the exact subject that should agree with the verb. It's not always the one that's nearest to the verb. Okay? Because some of you are taught either or, the nearest subject agrees with the verb, right? Not in this case. In this case, this is not either or. This is either of. Okay? So be a little bit more careful when it comes to this. Okay? Right. Next. Question number 7. Let's have Genevieve. Would you like to try number 7? Tell us the clue and the answer to question number 7, please.
The scenery.
No, actually, that's not the clue. Okay, sure. I'll include that as the clue, but that's not the main clue. Okay.
While.
Not really. There is a word in this sentence that carries the tense, Genevieve. Which word carries the tense in this sentence? That tells you what tense the answer should be in.
Stone.
Yes, thank you. Stole, right? Yeah. So this tells me that this entire sequence of events happened in the past, which means I can immediately rule out number 1 and number 3 because they are happening in the present, right? So again, always spot the clue that helps you eliminate or helps you to find best fit. Okay, so in this case, it's to eliminate. So while Tedman admired the scenery, a pickpocket stole his wallet, or while Edmund was admiring the scenery, a pickpocket stole his wallet. Okay. Genevieve, what's your answer?
Admired.
Admired, number 2. Okay, that's incorrect. That's incorrect. So you see, this is happening and something else happened. This is an interruption, right? And can you remember which tense expresses a continuous action being interrupted by another action? Can you all remember that? Right? So what should be the answer? Right? Genevieve, what should be the answer?
Was admiring.
Yeah, was admiring, right? Because while he was admiring the scenery, so this is the continuous action. While he was admiring the scenery, something happened to interrupt his admiration of the scenery, which was that the pickpocket stole his wallet. Can y'all see, everybody? The interruption of a continuous action, right, is what is happening in this case. The stealing of the wallet is not sequential. It's not one happening after another. It's one specific action interrupting a continuous action. What's the continuous action? Is the admiration of the scenery, just continuously admiring the scenery. So while Tedman was admiring the scenery, a pickpocket stole his wallet. Genevieve, do you get it? So you must be very clear with your tenses. Please go and review, okay, your tenses, right? Your simple present, simple past, past continuous, present continuous, past perfect, present perfect, and past perfect continuous, present perfect continuous. Ken, Genevieve, please go and review the verb tenses. Okay?
Mr. Pan,
Yes, dear.
isn't while also a clue?
Oh yeah, okay, fine. Yes, while is also a clue. Yes, you can say that. Okay, so the word while tells you that something is happening and then something interrupts it. Yes, okay, fine, I'll accept that. Okay, but you get what I mean when I say that there are more critical clues than others, right? So the critical clue in this case is stole, because the critical clue stole tells you to eliminate 2 out of 4 of the answers already. Then it helps you to narrow down much more easily. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Dia, for that question. Genevieve, are you okay with the verb tense and the explanation? Okay, great. If you have any questions, we can always answer it later, okay? Okay, question number 8. Can I have Hao Qian try question 8? Tell us the clue and then the answer, please. Hao Qian. Remember to unmute.
Mr. Tan will not travel to Australia unless the flood there has subsided.
Tell me the clue before you tell me the answer, please.
Um, there's
Hao Qian, the clue, please.
I don't really know.
I don't understand how you don't really know. Just tell me what was the clue that you highlighted. If the clue is wrong, then I'll explain to you why it's wrong. If it's correct, then I will tell you it is correct. Okay?
Because they say Mr. Tan would not travel to Australia.
Okay, so
And
what's the clue? Just tell me what's the clue, please. Don't
would
explain the entire
will
sentence.
not do.
Okay. Right. So the answer is travel to Australia and then the flood, right? So you would think about these two as contrast, right? Because normally a flood would cause you not to travel to Australia, right? Which is what is happening here, right? So this is a connector of contrast, right? Or of like a condition. So contrast and condition. So the condition for him traveling to Australia is the flood subsiding. So he will not travel to Australia. Okay, so Hao Qian, can you tell us what's your answer again? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Just to repeat it.
Unless.
Unless, right? Yeah. So he will not travel to Australia unless the flood there has subsided. So be very careful of the negative not. Because if the not is not there, right, then it will change already. Mr. Tan will travel to Australia if the flood there has subsided. If the word not is not there, the answer becomes if. Do y'all get it, everybody? So the not is very important. Be very sensitive to words in the sentence that can change it into the positive or negative, because that will change your connector from contrast to consequence. Okay, so you must be very alert. User, are you following? Okay, so it is very important that as we go through, we are sensitive to every single word in a question, because that word can make a difference between the answers being correct and being completely wrong. Okay, yeah, Dia?
Can I answer?
What, question 9?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
If the clues are had and been, since there are two words, the blank should have 3 words, which is would have perished.
Okay, very good. Yep, thank you. So it's a 3-2 pattern, right? Okay. So, and again, this is because had is in the past, right? Had it not been for his quick thinking, I would have perished. Okay, so this is a 3 form. So it cannot be 1, it cannot be 2, it has to be 3 or 4. And since this is in the past and this has to be consistently in the past as well, it has to be number 4, because this is in the present or future. Okay. So it doesn't work, right? So would have perished. Thank you, Dia, for making a relatively complex question more easy. Okay, can I have, let's call somebody a little bit further down the list. Okay, oh, let's see. Clarissa, can you try number 10, please? You first, then answer.
So is going at a difficult time.
Okay, is going and then a difficult time. So very good. So this has to do with the situation. So what should it be? For, going through, right? So again, this is a phrasal verb, right? And the meaning for the phrasal verb going through is experiencing, right? He's experiencing a difficult time. Okay, so very good. Thank you. That's pretty straightforward. This is a phrasal verb, right? All right. Thank you very much. That's good. Okay, so again, please tabulate your scores over here. Please analyze your trends, right? What kind of question you are getting incorrect over the last 3 papers, right? And then what are the patterns you need to be observing and guarding against in your future papers, okay? Right, so now we go into vocabulary, right? Or rather, we won't go into vocabulary. Y'all can do that on your own. We go into grammar, close passage, okay? So pretty straightforward. Y'all should know the pattern by now, okay? So try to finish up this paper by the end of today. If you can, then I will send out the annotated version to y'all, okay? Right, can we kickstart this section with Jafina? Jafina, can you tell us the clue to number 29? And then also tell us the answer after you tell us the clue, okay?
Did not suffer.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Did not suffer from any little injuries and escaped unscathed.
Jafina, are you in the right place? Jafina, I'm at question 29. 29, okay? Sorry?
The long run.
Yep, okay, thank you. What's the answer?
True. L.
L? No, incorrect. Okay? So, harm you, right, is actually also part of the clue. Harm you what? The long run. Okay, this is a preposition, right? So, Jafina's choice of the preposition through the long run is incorrect. Okay, so this is not the answer. Did somebody have a different answer? Okay, let's hear from Solomon.
In the long run.
Yep, it's in the long run, okay? So again, this is a collocated phrase. Jafina, please learn from this, okay? So it's not through the long run, but in the long run. Everybody, please be familiar with this. So again, I tell you, there's no surefire way. You have to just be exposed to enough of these questions to get a hang of it, okay? So good exposure is good, right? So mistakes are also good. So not through the long run, but in the long run. And in the long run means, right, over a long period of time. Okay, so that's what in the long run means. So for example, I might say in the long run, right, we will be able to master English if we give it enough time, right? So in the over a long period of time, we can master something if we give it enough time. Okay, so over a long period of time, in the long run. Okay, very good. Thank you. That was a good mistake. Thank you very much. Okay, can I have Stephanie try question 30? The clue first before the answer.
Soapy water.
Right, thank you. Right, so soapy water is uncountable, right? So what should it be?
Some.
Some, thank you. Right, so this is a quantifier, some, which can be used for both countable and uncountable objects, okay? So some water, you can also have some people, right? So some is a very versatile quantifier, and this is a quantifier both of countable and of uncountable nouns. In this case, soapy water is uncountable. Okay, good, thank you. Right, 31. Can I have Ruoxuan try 31, please? Clue first, then answer. Before you start, let me just put aversion means like they do not like. Okay? When you say someone has an aversion or something has an aversion, this word aversion, right, refers to a natural dislike for something. So I have an aversion to pickles, for example, in my hamburgers, right? That means I don't like hamburgers with pickles inside lah. All right, okay, which is true, by the way. Okay, so ants have a natural aversion. Yes, please go ahead. Ruoxuan, what's your clue and answer?
M.
M, yeah, true, correct. You're absolutely right. Was that a guess, by the way? It sounded like
No, it's my answer.
it's your answer, but did you guess the answer or were you very sure of the answer?
I actually like, it's like ants have a natural aversion, right? So I think the aversion is like they do not like, so I just put 2.
Okay, so you put 2 there because you felt that it was the most fitting word, right?
Yeah.
Because when you look at the sentence structure, you do
sentence,
not like, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
To something, right? To the cucumber, right? Okay, yeah, okay. That's a very good deduction. Thank you for that. And thank you for trying your best to explain. I really appreciate that. So natural aversion, right? Do not like, right? Is an aversion to something. So this again is a collocated phrase. Please be aware of it, right? You have a natural aversion to something. A lot of people always say you have a natural aversion with something, right? So I was expecting some of you might put Q as the answer. Did anybody put Q, by the way? Okay, so I don't think so, right? It doesn't look like it. So good. So you have a natural aversion to cucumbers, and bitter cucumbers seem to work best. I had no idea there was such a thing as bitter cucumbers. But did you know that cucumbers are bitter? Yeah. Some of your parents will use the end of a cucumber to like rub in circles around the cucumber to draw out the bitter sap before cutting up cucumbers, right? I don't know if you've ever seen that happen before, right? Some of your parents will cut off the tips of the cucumber and then use the tip to rub the cucumber until a white frothy substance is emitted. And this white frothy substance is actually the bitterness that's drawn out of the cucumber before you chop it up, and then you can eat it without any bitterness anymore, right? So I went to do a bit of research and I found that apparently that's a thing. Okay, so anyway, let's move on. You now know that cucumbers can deter ants. Okay, right? That's a life skill. Alternatively, dried crushed mint leaves or cloves also work as what? Ant deterrent. Can I have Irina try this, please?
Ant deterrent.
Can you tell me the clue? Okay, that's ant deterrent, right? Okay, thank you. And what is the answer?
B.
B,
N.
very good. Well done. Okay, N, very good. And again, because A, right, this is a vowel sound. Okay, so remember it's the vowel sound, not the vowel itself. Remember, university umbrella, it's not the vowel, it's the vowel sound. The sound that it makes that determines that the indicator article here is N and not A. Okay, so remember it's the vowel sound. And, the sound. I, O, U. Okay, A is A, is E is I, O is O, and U is U. Okay, so A, E, I, O, U. Okay, these are the vowel sounds. So remember, it's the sound of the vowels that activates the N, not the vowel itself. Remember the classic example of university, okay, which begins with the vowel Y, but sounds like the consonant, begins with the vowel U, but sounds like the consonant Y. University. So therefore, it's a university and it is an umbrella. Okay, so be very careful not to only reflexively look at the vowel, but sound out the vowel in your head before you use the correct indicator. Okay, right. Question number 33. Yuza, can you try 33? Clue first and answer, please. Thank you.
Is the clue B?
You're right. And what's the answer?
D.
At bay. Very good. Thank you. At bay. Okay, good. So again, this is a phrase that's collocated. You have to know that it is at bay. At bay means to keep them away, right? So at bay means away. Keep them away, right? Keep cockroaches away, right? Keep them at bay means away, right? At bay, right? So banana leaves, cucumbers, right? We're accumulating different ways to keep pests away from our food, right? Okay. Heidi, can you try question 34, please? The clue and then the answer.
Of harm's way.
Okay, of harm's way. And what is the answer, please?
J.
J. Okay, thank you. Out of harm's way. Okay, out of the way, out of harm's way. That's pretty straightforward, huh? Okay, very good. Well done. Thank you very much. Can I please have Adrian try question 35?
The clue is use it in the kitchen and settle on surfaces.
Okay, so there are
What is
contrasts.
N? Where?
Sorry?
My answer is where.
Where? Okay, so try not to use it in the kitchen where it can settle on surfaces and leach into your food. Okay, very good. Yep, excellent. And okay, so again, it is the kitchen where it can. So the keyword here is kitchen and then settle on surfaces, right? Because that's the kitchen where it can settle on surfaces. Thank you very much. Nicholas, would you like to try the next one? Go ahead.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry. Clue is on. Okay. Hold what? On pesticide.
Hold off.
Hold off. Very good. Hold off is the correct answer. Hold off means to stop using. Okay, to stop something, right? In this case, it's to stop using pesticides and to replace it with garlic spray. Okay, so cucumbers, right? pandan leaves, right? Garlic cloves, right? These are all natural remedies, right? Homeopathic or natural remedies. Okay, if I were to summarize, these are homeopathic remedies, right? Homeopathic refers to natural sources that are not chemically produced, okay? So if you want to summarize all of these kinds of different remedies, right? Whether it is for, pesticides or it is for food, then it's homeopathic, right? It's homeopathic remedies, okay? Homeopathic remedies, all of these. All right, so question 37, puree, 15 garlic cloves and 1 pint. This is pretty straightforward, but never mind. Javier, can you tell me the clue and then the answer, please, Javier? Thank you.
One pint.
Okay, very good, but it's not pint, it's pint. Pint, P-I-I. Sound out the I, pint. 1 pint. Okay, what's the answer? Javier, you're muted. Sorry? G, all right. Okay, thank you. G, of water. So it's 1 pint of water, right? So it's a reference, right? A reference, the 1 pint being a measure. You all know what is 1 pint, right? Right, it's roughly about a glass full of, okay? It's a measure by glass, okay? 1 pint of water in a blender. Strain the mixture. So this last one, can I have Shijie? Tell me what you think is the answer, please. Clue followed by answer.
A cheesecloth. Strain.
Strain, right? Very good. Yep, excellent. And then cheesecloth. Okay, fine. Yep. So what's the clue?
L.
Sorry, what's the answer? L. Okay, good. Yeah, you strain something through something else. Excellent, right? So you pass it through the cheesecloth in order to remove all of the bits and pieces, so that only the liquid comes through. Solomon, yes, did you raise your hand?
May I know why I cannot write with?
Strain the mixture with a cheesecloth.
Yeah.
Okay, because through is the accurate form of prepositions to describe the process by which you pass something into and through a cloth in order to remove the impurities. You filter something through a cheesecloth. You strain something through a cheesecloth. You don't strain something with. You get what I mean? If you do it with, then everything is together. But if you strain it through, then you're separating between the debris, the little bits, and the liquid that passes through. So there's one, and then there's the other. That's through. Then there's altogether, that's with. With is altogether. So that's not accurate to use as a preposition. Okay, right? So cannot use with in this case. Thank you. Right, thanks for your question. Right, let's move on. Okay, let's finish editing today. Okay, we have quite a bit of time, right? Amelia, can you give me the spelling for, or rather, can you give me the answer for question 39, please?
Prosperous.
Okay, thank you. I take it that you know how to spell prosperous. Okay, thank you very much. Can I have a Clarice? Can you tell me how to spell populated, please?
P-O-P-U-L-A-T-E-D.
Thank you very much. Loud and clear. Very good. Okay. 41, poisonous, poisonous. Zoe, spelling. Come, poisonous.
P-O-I-S-O-N-O-U-S.
N-O-U-S, thank you very much. Poisonous, N-O-U-S, thank you. By the way, N-E-U-S is never used in English. It's a Greek form of spelling, okay? So you look at a lot of Greek names, they will end with E-U-S. Zeus, Prometheus, right? All these end with E-U-S. It's a Greek form of suffix, okay? Right, so let's move on. Tomatoes eventually. Okay, 42. Let's have Kylie, can you tell me the answer to 42, please?
Found.
Found as in past tense? Is that correct? Past tense, Very good, yeah. Found their way, excellent. Because everything is in the past tense, right? So very good. So eventually they found their way into the diets of the poor people of Naples. Excellent. And then can I have Skylar tell me what's the answer to number 43, please, created?
CREATED.
Yep, thank you. That's perfectly fine. Skylar, can you do 44 as well, please?
Quickly.
Quickly, thank you. All right, so at the beginning, this is very easy to spell, but let's see. Okay, who have I not called yet? Lucas, can you spell for me beginning, please?
VEGINING.
Sorry, spell that again, please.
VEGINNING.
Thank you. Okay. 46. Can we have yeah, okay, Shani, 46, please.
Because.
Because few people had the skill to stretch the dough or properly build blah blah blah. Okay, consequently, pizzas were almost always okay. Genevieve, can you tell me your answer to question 47, please? Bought. Thank you. That's good. From the pizzerias, frozen pizzas were introduced. Can you spell introduced for me, Jairus?
INTRODUCED.
Thank you. Good job. Okay, Jairus, can you just answer 49 as well, please? Thank you. Has today, right? Because of today, right? Has become one of the most popular food items. Good job. Okay, and imaginable. I have Claire spell imaginable for me, please.
IMAGINABLE.
Thank you. Perfect. Good job. And now we finish with our editing and we go into synthesis. Okay.
Mr. Bang, I have a doubt.
You have a doubt. What is your doubt?
So 46, can we put S?
Sorry, which one?
46.
46. Okay, at the beginning, pizzas were already prepared home as few people had the skill to stretch. Yes. Why yes? Because and as are synonymous. So sure. Why not?
Thank you.
Thank you. Jairus, yes, you raise your hand.
47. Since.
So sorry, since is it? The same question, right? Okay, since few people had the skill. Okay, yeah. Actually fits as well. Yep. So connected as, because, and since, right? Both, or rather all three of them are connectors of consequence, right? Yeah. So rarely prepared because few people had the skill. Rarely prepared since few people had the skill. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Jairus, for bringing us an alternative perspective. Much needed. Okay. No other doubts. Let's move on to synthesis. Mr. Poe fumed in fury when he knew that Alex had failed to submit his work again. So I remind all of us of the 5 rules of synthesis, which I will repeat ad nauseum, which means I will keep repeating until you all throw up, right? Ad nauseum. So number 1, right? There's no change in meaning. Number 2, there's no change in tense. Number 3, when the connector moves to the front, a comma takes its place. Number 4, the answer should always be shorter than the question that contributed to the answer. And number 5, all repeated words must either be replaced by pronouns or deleted from your final answer, replaced or deleted. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these operating synthesis rules are not exhaustive. There are more rules to synthesis that go on later, but I think these are sufficient for you for primary school. But please try to remember them at the back of your mind, okay? When you combine sentences, meaning cannot change, tense cannot change, connectors will move commas, and then please make sure that you shorten the answer so that it's never longer than the contributing question, and finally make sure that all repeated words are either replaced or deleted from your final answer. Check that there are no repeated words, okay? So this checklist will solve 95% of your most common errors when you do synthesis, but please memorize and keep them in mind. Okay, who would like to volunteer for question 66? Because I don't want to keep on calling names. Can someone please raise your hands? Fastest hands first, go. Okay, Skylar, go.
Knowing that Alex had failed to submit his work again, Mr. Poe fumed in fury.
Okay, on knowing that Alex, okay, so let's highlight knowing, right? So I changed knew to knowing, or knowing that Alex had failed to submit his work again. Please do your corrections if you get it wrong. Okay. Skylar, is there a comma here? Yes, there is, right? Yeah. So please make sure that you inject a comma here, right? Mr. Poe fumed in fury. Okay. So, okay, just for fun, let's see whether you understand. Remember yesterday and the day before, we were talking about main and subordinate clauses. Main and subordinate clauses. Just for fun to test whether you understand the concept. In this case here, there are two clauses, right? On knowing that Alex had failed to submit his work again, and Mr. Poe fumed in fury, right? Which one is the main and which one is the subordinate? Solomon?
I want to ask a question about the question 66.
Oh, okay, wait, Let's answer the main clause, subordinate clause first. Skylar, go ahead.
Mr. Poe fumed in fury is the main clause.
Okay, and therefore, on knowing Alex had failed is a subclause. Can you tell me why? What's your reasoning for that?
Because Mr. Poe is the subject
Mm-hmm.
and the subject is always in the main clause.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Yeah, so that's one way of looking at it. The main clause carries the subject. That's good. Dia? You raised your hand.
Yeah. On knowing that Alex had failed to submit his work again cannot stand on its own.
Yeah, thank you. So the subject location and the standing on its own principle. Thank you very much. Those are the two principles that determine whether a clause is a main or subordinate. So in this case, on knowing that Alex had failed, like Dia said, cannot stand by itself, right? On knowing that Alex had failed to submit his work again will lead me to a question, yeah, so what, right? So if I had to ask a question, right, that means the sentence cannot stand by itself. And therefore, it is not the main, but the subordinate clause. And it is subordinate to the main clause. In this case, Mr. Poe fumed in fury when he found out that Alex had failed to submit his work again, which is the subordinate clause. Okay, good. Thank you. Solomon, what was your question for question 66, please?
For question 66, right?
Yeah.
Can we like on knowledge that Alex failed?
Oh, cannot, because on knowing, knowledge is already a noun. You cannot change a verb into a noun, right? You are now breaking two of the cardinal rules. One is you're changing the meaning by changing the word class, and two is you're changing the tense, the verb tense. Because on knowing is a kind of a verb tense aspect, right? You cannot change it, okay? It's a key word. Yes, Brian?
Can I answer 67?
Oh, okay, sure. But wait, before we carry on to 67, any more questions for 66? You all know it cannot be on knowledge, right? Right? First of all, you know it's wrong because it sounds wrong. Second of all, you know that you cannot change the class of a word unless absolutely necessary. In this case, on knowing, right? You change knew into knowing. Knew is a verb, knowing is still a form of a verb. So it's still in the same word class, right? It's just that I changed the form of the verb, right? Okay. 67. Brian, go ahead. It
was with preservation to complete the marathon.
It was with Can you repeat the whole thing?
It was with preservation to complete the marathon.
It was with what?
Preservation
Preservation,
to complete the marathon.
What happened to the we? And why persevered become preservation? It's a different word. I think you're trying to say preservation, right? And then you missed out the we. So there are multiple gaps in your answer. Okay, but never mind. Thank you very much. Okay, Jairus, give it a try.
It was with perseverance that we completed the marathon.
Okay, can you walk me through word by word? It was with?
It was with perseverance.
Okay, can you spell perseverance for me?
Perseverance.
Okay, so it's perseverance. Very good. That's correctly spelled. It was with perseverance. So, Brian, please take note, it's not preservation. That's another word already. That's preserve already. So it was with perseverance. Okay, carry on, Jairus. What's the next word?
That we completed the marathon.
Okay, that. Okay, very good. And then I preserve the we, complete. You change to completed. Okay, very good. The marathon. So there are multiple points of transformation here. So I don't blame you, Brian, right, that you stumbled with this question because there are multiple points of transformation. It's quite complex. Okay, so well done, Jairus. So notice here that persevered becomes perseverance. It was with, because with always is referring to a noun. So I must change the verb into a noun. From persevered, which is a verb, into perseverance, which is a noun. Okay, it was with perseverance. Then I need a connector. Okay, because the to has been replaced. I cannot put to anymore. So it was with perseverance, that. So to is replaced by that as a connector. And then we completed. Why completed? Because persevered originally carried the past tense. We persevered, past tense. So now in this new sentence, right, the other verb has to carry the past tense because perseverance is no longer a verb, right? It has become a noun. It cannot carry the tense anymore. So it must push the tense to the other verb. And in this case, the verb completed is the verb that carries the tense. So I hope you all understand why I'm breaking it down to this degree, right? I know you all just write the answer lah, no big deal. But if you break it down, right, it helps you to repeat it again. It's very much like if you dismantle something, right, you're able to build it again endlessly. But if you don't dismantle it, right, you will always wonder what actually happened in order to get it to the way it was before. So try to dismantle your own thinking so that you can find out which part of the steps you made a mistake in. And then don't repeat that step lah. Okay? So when I break it down for you all, please pay attention to the steps so that you can repeat in future questions, right? So remember, persevered, change to perseverance. Why? Because of the connector with. It was with perseverance. And then all the other transformation points, okay? So I know it is, a bit tedious, but well, synthesis, you know what I feel about synthesis, right? Okay. Dia, next one.
I understand the concept now because of Harry's thorough explanation.
Okay, I understand the concept. Okay, wait, I understand. Let's do that bit by bit, the concept now. Okay, I got that first part. Is that correct? Did I write it correctly? Okay, I understand the concept now. Let's highlight the concept because I changed it into the concept. Can you explain to me why you changed it into the concept and not remain as it?
Because we're not gonna put the concept, so we must specify what we understand. Okay,
very good. So you usually front load, right? What is the important information? In this case, the concept is kind of like the subject, okay? So the subject should be in the front of the sentence to clearly load it, right? So I understand it now is very ambiguous, whereas I understand the concept now is clear, right? So concept should come in front. Good. Because of
Harry's thorough explanation.
Okay, Harry's thorough explanation. Okay, so over here, let's highlight the fact that Dia has, put an apostrophe S here because she's linking the possession of the thorough explanation to Harry, okay? And then she has changed explained into explanation, okay? So again, this is a change from a verb into a noun, okay? So Harry's thorough explanation, full stop. Absolutely correct. Any alternative answers? No, Anybody wants to check any other answers with me? I anticipated there might be one or two alternatives here. No? Everybody's good?
Can I write
Yeah.
Harry's thorough explanation of it?
I understand the concept now because of Harry's thorough explanation of it. Stephanie, is that what you're asking? Stephanie, was that you? Yeah, okay. So cannot, because of it is a repetition of the concept. Right? Remember what I said about repetition, right? You either delete it or you replace it. In this case, there is no necessity for the repetition. So you should delete it. Okay? So the of it will add to the length of your synthesized answer. So no, I don't want it. Right? Always keep it shorter. Okay? So no, of it is not acceptable. Please delete of it. Okay? So good. No variation means we are all either correct or wrong. So there's no in between. Okay. Who would like to volunteer 69, please? Anyone? Okay, Adrian, thank you.
Unlike Mrs. Wee, Katie does not enjoy hiking.
Okay, thank you. Unlike Mrs. Wee, is there a comma here?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Katie or Kathy. Does not enjoy. Enjoy, right? So please note here, enjoy hiking. Does not enjoy hiking. Why is it enjoy and not enjoys? Because the does now carries the subject-verb agreement, not the enjoy anymore. Okay, so remember the first verb or the auxiliary verb always carries the tense and the agreement. Okay, Claire, did you raise your hands?
What if I wrote unlike Kathy, Mrs. We enjoys hiking instead of
Yes, absolutely right. So unlike Kathy, right? So you can also put Kathy in front, right? Mrs. We enjoys, but in this case, right, it must be enjoys, huh? There must be an S, enjoys hiking, because now it's Mrs. We, right? And there's no does anymore. Enjoys hiking. Yep, is absolutely correct. Okay, I guess the rest of you had the same response, right? Okay, yes, both answers are absolutely correct. In this case, there's no change in meaning, there's no change in tense, and it obeys all the other 5 rules. Okay, so no problems at all. Question 70, traditionally the more difficult one. Can I ask for somebody to volunteer, because there are multiple points of transformation for this one? Try your best. Okay, anybody wants to, any bold, intrepid soul wants to try this and bring us in? Okay, Nicholas, thank you. Go.
It might sound wrong.
It's fine, it's okay. Make a mistake and be bold about
Holding
it.
up the empty container, Jason asked his sister if she had finished the tarts.
Oh, it's perfectly correct. Well done. Good job. Okay, well done. But can you slow it down for me? Do it word by word, please. Yeah, well done. Good job. Holding
Holding up the empty container,
Yeah, correct.
comma,
Comma, very good. I was going to ask you about that. Excellent.
Jason asked his sister if she
Mhm.
had finished the tarts.
Asked his sister if. Very good. Because of the asked, right? Okay. She had finished. Okay, did you finish? So past tense already, right? So becomes past perfect. Had finished. Very good. The thoughts. Okay. Manthan, okay, well done. Full marks. Well done. Good job. Okay. So let's just highlight the few points of transformation. She had finished the tarts. So let's remind ourselves, if inside the open inverted commas, right, is present tense, right? Then it changes outside to past simple. If inside, right, the inverted commas, right, is already in the past tense, right, then outside, right, it changes into the past perfect. Okay, and then if it is already inside the open and close inverted commas, past perfect tense, right, then it will remain as past perfect. It doesn't change. Past perfect is the highest, most evolved form of the tense. Okay, so if it's present, becomes past. If it's past, becomes past perfect. If it's past perfect, it remains as past perfect. Okay, and then of course all the other adverbs of time, you all must remember lah. Today becomes that day, yesterday becomes the day before, the next week becomes, you know, the following week, all of that. You all should memorize all of those adverbs of time. So I just put down here adverbs of time. Okay, go and memorize all your adverbs of time transformations for reported speech, because if the odds of all previous PSLE questions follow, right, reported speech always occurs lah. It always occurs lah, right? So please make sure that you master reported speech. Okay, because reported speech is extremely highly likely to appear out of all the synthesis items. Okay, so good job, everybody. We are a little bit early today, but we have finished. Well done. And you know, I congratulate all of you. You've done 3 whole days of this, right? It's not easy, right? While your peers have been relaxing at home and sleeping late, you have sacrificed your 3 mornings to wake up early to do an hour to an hour and a half of like solid grammar practice with me. So I hope that this has helped you, and this has given you a little bit more confidence when it comes to your grammar. Okay, but we will continue this. We will finish it off, right? We have 2 more days left to go, right? And I hope that this pace is manageable. I purposely didn't want to do too much in one day because I don't want to overload you all. I still want you to have a good break, right? But I hope this is helping you to be a little bit more confident in your grammar, right? So going forward, right, in term 2, I'm going to administer a test to test your grammar. And I expect that this will have helped you to improve, right, these main sections, right? At least you're a bit more conscious of some of the things to look out for, okay? Like I said, yesterday, there'll be a shift. Okay, so Thursday and Friday, right? I would like to continue with this, but I would also like to do a little bit of writing. Okay, so I don't know how I'm going to fit that in. Maybe I will reduce the number of sections I will go through in the morning so that I have a little bit more time to do situational writing and composition writing, which is another section I hope that we can ace lah. We can do well in, because we've done quite a lot of writing. Okay, so I remind all of you, the PSLE paper 2021 in SLS, I have reloaded it. That means even if you submitted it before, right? Can you please go back in and then resubmit again? I've put it into 2 sections. 1 question for situational writing, 1 question for composition writing. Please go and resubmit separately within each question, your situational writing and your composition writing for the PSLE paper 1 2021. It's already all loaded in the question. So ignore whether you finish or not. Just go in and resubmit again. Okay, you should be able to do it. I've already uploaded the assignment, right? So ignore your completion status. Even if you completed it before, go back in and copy and paste what you have done again, so that I can do a proper marking and I can do a proper feedback for all of you. Okay, I'll try to finish it by the end of this week so that you all get a bit of the feedback. And then tomorrow onwards, I will adjust the balance, but please still continue to do all your components that I've asked you to do. Okay, at the end of today, I will post the annotated version, not just of the sections we have covered, but also of all the other sections in PhD paper 13. Okay, then tomorrow we will do PhD 14, and then Friday we'll do PhD 15, and then we can report at the end of this week that we've completed 5 practice papers.